are discussing about children's programming on Indian television. Till now we have discussed about different aspects of television programming pertaining to children. हमने अब तक बात की डिज़ायरेबल कंटेंट क्या है, अनडिज़ायरेबल कंटेंट, टारगेट ऑडियंस क्या है, और क्या स्टोरी लाइन, टाइम लाइन क्या रही इतने सालों में। जब हमने देखा, जब दूरदर्शन का जन्म हुआ भारत में 1959 में, तब से लेकर अब तक जब प्राइवेटाइजेशन स्टार्ट हुई, प्राइवेट टेलीविज़न चैनल्स इंडिया में आए, क्या बदलाव होते गए हैं चिल्ड्रंस टेलीविज़न में, एंड व्हाई इज़ चिल्ड्रंस प्रोग्रामिंग very very important as far as television is concerned. So we were discussing about undesirable content on Indian television pertaining to children, and we had reached the sixth point, which was about picturizing unhealthy relationships. This means showing too many unproductive and unhealthy relationships can have an adverse impact on the minds of the young viewership. The next point is about regressive behavior and ideas. This means including behavior or ideas such as antisocial behavior, stress, and stubbornness might lead a child to develop those without consideration of the positives and the negatives. So, children's television programming, goes without saying, is very important part of the entire television network. But how is that created? How is the television programming prepared, especially the script of a show which is concerning the children as an audience? So, the process of preparing a script for children's programming is quite difficult and different from what we generally see for a program which is for the adult viewership. So, creating a successful children's television program in India requires meticulous scripting that considers the following. First is understanding the target audience. To identify a target audience for preparing a script, it is more important to research the specific age group the show targets, the developmental stage and cultural background to tailor content accordingly. Secondly, incorporating educational value, weaving learning objectives seamlessly into the narrative without compromising entertainment value. The blend of education or information with entertainment is important as it allows for a greater variety of content to be made accessible to the audience. Third point is balancing entertainment and social messages. So, creating engaging stories that also promote positive value and social awareness. An example would be some of the episodes from Malgudi days, which included depiction of certain messages that were of great social and cultural value. The next point is about incorporating cultural relevance, showcasing Indian festivals, traditions, and days of national importance such as Republic Day and Independence Day in a way that fosters cultural pride and understanding. Next point is about language considerations, using Hindi or regional languages to make the content more accessible and relatable to a wider audience. The popularity of shows such as Doraemon in Tamil and Telugu is an example of how popular shows can now reach people across the country despite regional and cultural differences. Similarly, shows that contain social messages and foster a sense of unity can be broadcast across the country by using regional languages. जाहिर है लैंग्वेज का, भाषा का बच्चे के पूरे विकास में बहुत बड़ा योगदान होता है, और अगर एक बच्चा कुछ अलग अलग भाषाएं सीखता है तो जाहिर है जो उसकी पर्सनालिटी है वो और भी स्ट्रॉन्ग उभर कर सामने आती है. The sixth point is reasoning with a child's identity. The young mind or the young child does not understand the intricacies of a relationship, so include what they might be intrigued by, such as short sequences. Make sure to be vibrant and lively throughout because the child has a very short attention span. Then is use of smart repetitions. Small children love repetition. Most of them would want to hear the same stories over and over again and recite the rhyme over and over. However, repetition in television programming needs to be done very innovatively without being too boring. Crafting a script for a children's television program requires a unique approach that balances entertainment, education, and age appropriate content. So, these are some of the key steps. One is keeping the target audience in mind, clearly define the age group you are aiming. For example, is it for preschoolers, elementary school kids, young children, or you are targeting the children who are about to enter the college life. Theme or topic is important. Choose a central theme or topic that aligns with your target audience's interests and developmental needs. Then educational goals. Determine the educational objectives you want to achieve, whether it's teaching basic concepts, promoting social emotional skills, or fostering curiosity. Then is about writing the script. So, first is clear dialogue. Use simple language and sentence structure that children can understand. Sentences should not be complicated, sentences should not be too long. Show and don't tell. Use vivid description and actions to convey information. Pacing is important. Maintain a fast paced and engaging rhythm. Then is humor. Incorporate age appropriate humor to keep children entertained. Similarly, character development is important while working on a script for a children's program. For example, relatable characters. Create characters that children can easily connect with and learn from. Distinct personalities. Give each character unique traits and qualities to make them memorable. Then is positive role models. Ensure your characters exhibit positive behaviors and values. Then is the storyline and the plot. Relatable characters. Create characters that children can easily connect with and learn from. Simple and engaging. Conflict and resolution. Introduce a conflict or problem that the characters must overcome. Then it is very, very important to have a happy ending. Provide a satisfying and hopeful conclusion. Children like it, they look for it, and they get a very positive message out of a happy ending. Distinct personalities. Give each character unique traits and qualities to make them memorable, and then creating your positive role models. So, television can be a powerful tool for education in India, but like any powerful tool, it comes with its advantages and disadvantages. Here is a deeper look at the good and bad impacts of television on children's learning and development. So, what is a good impact? For example, enhanced learning. Educational programs can go beyond textbooks using animation, dramatization, and interactive elements to make learning engaging and fun. Shows like Discovery Kids, Turbo, Fast use captivating visuals and experiments to explain scientific concepts, making them more relatable to young viewers. Then is accessibility and inclusivity. Television can bridge geographical and socio-economic gaps. Educational channels like National Geographic Kids can expose children in rural areas to diverse topics and cultures, fostering a sense of global citizenship. Shows like CEC Workshop, Gully Gully Sim Sim incorporate sign languages and cater to children with disabilities, promoting inclusivity in education. Then lifelong learning habits. High quality educational programs can cultivate a love for learning that extends beyond the classroom. Shows like Doordarshan's Inquisitive encourage children to ask questions, seek answers, and develop a thirst for knowledge. Then is cognitive development. Engaging shows such as क्या आप पांचवी पास से तेज हैं can help improve attention span and concentration as they require active participation. Repetitive storytelling and characters can also aid in memory retention. Personality and character development, since shows have a certain narrative about life and humans, perhaps it will help a child to develop their persona. But certainly, there could be a bad impact also if television programming is not done attentively and properly. So, positive learning and attention spans, over reliance of children for learning without active participation or critical thinking can hinder cognitive development and attention spans. Passive consumption might not equip children with necessary skills to analyze information, solve problems, or apply knowledge in real world situations. Sometimes displayed activities and health concerns are also seen. Excessive screen time can come at the expense of essential activities like outdoor play, physical exercise, and social interaction. This can lead to severe health concerns such as obesity, sleep problems, and social anxiety. Exposure to inappropriate content. Not all content labeled as educational is created with the same purpose. Some shows might contain inaccurate information, misleading advertising, or even harmful stereotypes. Parents need to be vigilant about the content their children consume and choose programs from reputable sources or from government sources. Addition of negative traits. Due to overexposure to screen, a child may develop certain detrimental habits such as being abusive upon not getting to see the screen and being unnecessarily adamant about things. So, with the digitization of the economy, online platforms where customers can order everything and anything, it has made cash flow nearly obsolete. Local stores are facing an existential crisis and small cash transactions children once learned from are fading. Now, with postpaid and installment options, children have a bigger influence on family purchase. Kids in India represent 19% of the global child population and make up 39% of India's population, forming the larger consumer market. And thus, television producers, while working on children's programming, keep this also in their mind. The Indian psycho childcare market is currently valued at 3.8 billion, prompting advertisers to target kid channels and digital media. Television advertisements are influenced by children in several ways, including children are particularly vulnerable to advertising due to their cognitive development stage. They cannot often discuss the persuasive intent behind commercials, interpreting claims as accurate and truthful information. In some cases, the truth is carried with them into adulthood. Children's influence on purchasing. Children are attracted to television ads, especially those featuring cartoons. This can lead to children asking for more toys or maybe for other purchases. For example, around 2012, a popular brand released an ad for an orange flavored glucose powder, which attracted the attention of a major proportion of children and young adults due to its comedic approach of storytelling through animation by personifying the sun as an evil character, and the ad became very popular. Influence on purchasing decision. Television ads, especially those featuring cartoons, they captivate children and can significantly impact their purchasing influence. And then this influence on their health. influence on the values of children. Advertising often promotes superficially and instills values centered around materialism and consumption. This can shape children's perceptions of success and happiness, emphasizing the importance of possessions over other values. So, the bester power refers to the influence children have on their parents. This is again a very important part of children's television, because bester power often through this children are become persistent, and they make requests and demands, particularly regarding consumer products. In India, this phenomena is notably prominent in children's television programs. Shows aimed at young audiences frequently incorporate engaging characters, catchy jingles, and colorful animations that resonate with children, making them effective marketing tools. As a result, children often pressurize their parents to buy toys or snacks or foodies associated with their favorite shows. For instance, popular animated series or live action programs frequently launch promotional campaigns that leverage bester power, encouraging kids to plead for branded products. This dynamic not only influences purchasing decisions but also shapes children's preferences and consumption habits. The impact of bester power in India is significant, especially in a rapidly growing market for children's entertainment. Parents may feel compelled to comply with their children's request, leading to concern about consumerism and the commercialization of childhood. As a response, there is an ongoing discussion about the need for responsible advertising practices and the importance of media literacy among both children and parents. The children's television market in India presents a unique landscape influenced by various factors, including advertising rates, audience demographies, competition, language, preferences, and the rise of digital platforms. Children's TV ad rates are typically lower compared to those of news channels. This price difference is attributed to a smaller target audience, which affects the overall revenue potential for kids programming. However, rates can fluctuate based on the channel, specific time slots, and seasonal demand, such as during school vacations or festive seasons, when viewership among children tends to spike. Advertisers often seek to capitalize on these peak times, driving up rates during high demand periods. The children's advertising sector is notably niche, with fewer advertisers specially targeting kids' brands. Many of these advertisers are primarily focused on products aimed at women and family-oriented goods. This creates a challenging environment for children's channels, which need to attract a wider variety of brands to enhance revenue. As the market evolves, there is potential for more brands to recognize the value of reaching children directly, especially with the influence kids have or household purchasing decisions, but the ads must be ethical in nature. So, children's TV channels are increasingly facing stiff competition from general entertainment networks, which have larger influence audience shares. These channels often draw viewership away from dedicated kids programming by offering a diverse range of content that appeals to families. To stay relevant, kids channels must innovate their content offerings and engage viewers through interactive formats and appealing narratives that capture the interest of both children and their parents. In India, Hindi remains the dominant language for children's television content, and thus tapping the market through regional languages is also very important. There is a significant potential for growth in regional languages as more channels cater to diverse linguistic demographics. As parents seek content and that resonates culturally and linguistically with their children, channels producing content in regional languages could tap into an undeserved market, This shift could also drive up advertising revenue as brands increasingly look to connect with audiences in their native languages. The advent of digital platforms has transformed the advertising landscape for children. Social media platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, TikTok not only entertain young audiences but also serve as a lucrative channel for advertisers targeting users under 18. As kids migrate to these platforms for content consumption, traditional children's TV programs must adapt their strategies to maintain relevance. Collaboration with digital influencers and creating engaging online content can help bridge this gap and create new revenue streams. Subscription platforms featuring children's content generate revenue through monthly or annual subscriptions. Now, what is responsible advertising for children's programming? This is again an important segment which I would quickly like to discuss with you. Central Consumer Protection Authority, which was established under the Consumer Protection Act 2018, encompasses preventive measure designed to protect children from misleading ads. Section 8 of CCPA guidelines specifies the following: unsafe behavior. Advertisements targeting children must not encourage dangerous behavior and they should not lead kids to imitate harmful actions. Secondly, exaggeration of products. Advertisers must not take advantage of children's age and their lack of experience. Advertisers should not exaggerate product features to create unrealistic expectations. Similarly, physical and mental well-being is important. Ads should not promote practices detrimental to children's health or mental well-being. They should not imply that not using a product will make children unpopular or inferior. Children should not be featured in ads for prohibited products like tobacco or alcohol. Ads should not use sports, music or cinema personalities for products that require health warnings or are inappropriate for children. Advertisers should accurately represent product characteristics and avoid exaggerating a child's capability with the product. There should not be any health claim without scientific evidence. Ads cannot claim product consumption, enhance intelligence or physical ability or provides exceptional recognition without valid proof. Health or nutritional claims must be substantiated scientifically. Similarly, ads targeting children should not promote negative body image and they should not imply that products are superior to natural or traditional foods. Junk food ads like those for chips and carbonated beverages should not be allowed during children's programs or on channels which are solely for children. Advertisements should not imply that children will be ridiculed or made to feel inferior if they do not purchase the advertised products or services. The CCPA can impose penalties of up to rupees 10 lakh for the first offence and up to rupees 50 lakh for subsequent offences. The CCPA can also prohibit the endorser from making endorsements for up to 1 year or up to 3 years for subsequent violations. I would also like to state here that Doordarshan, which is India's national broadcaster, has played a pivotal role in shaping children's television in India. For example, Bharati, with which I had begun my lecture with. This pioneer educational program, conceptualized by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, aimed to introduce young minds to basic concepts like the alphabet, numbers and social values. It featured a blend of storytelling by popular figures like Akela and from Rudyard Kipling's Jungle Book, puppetry with characters like Handa Banda and short skits with moral messages. Similarly, Vikram or Vetal which some of you would also remember, from 1985 to 1987, directed by Ramanand Sagar. This captivating storytelling show brought to life the classic Indian folk tales of King Vikram and the wise Teman Bital. Each episode featured a new story woven into a larger narrative filled with suspense, wit and valuable life lessons. 1980s to 1990s, Ramayana and Mahabharata, directed by Ramanand Sagar, these epic mythological dramas were not specifically children's shows but captivated the audiences of all ages. This grand storytelling, brought to life by actors like Arun Govil and Nitish Bhardwaj, showcased India's rich cultural heritage and timeless messages of good versus evil, duty and sacrifice. There are other programs like Motu Patlu and Shaktiman, Shinchan, Doraemon, which have been quite popular in the last few years as far as children programming is concerned. The future of OTT platforms has had a considerable influence on the availability of choice in media consumption, and one can see that in the days to come, this influence is going to rise. But the most important thing is that the children's programming should be done carefully, and children should be watching television under parental involvement, and television, as far as television is concerned and journalism is concerned, this is a very, very important segment. Hope you like this lecture. Thank you very much.